Now that we are familiar with main network components and their features, let's take a look at MOXA's solutions for industrial networking. First, let's recap what are the differences between industrial-grade equipment and commercial. The fundamental difference is reliability. From hardware point of view, it is provided by following items: high level of electromagnetic compatibility, wide temperature range, completely fanless design, rugged housing with high ingress protection ratio, redundant power inputs and relays for failure warning, and as a proof to all mentioned, various industrial certificates. Software part of industrial solution usually includes an industrial NMS like MXView and a number of features on equipment side: industrial protocols and OPC technology support, proprietary redundancy technologies with fast recovery time, and overall ease of user experience. All MOXA equipment is designed according to this criteria. Our engineers also had high MTBF in mind. MTBF stands for mean time between failure and measured in hours. The higher MTBF is, the more reliable the device. Product quality is assured by testing of each single unit before packing. Wide temperature models are tested in a chamber for 24 hours. All these facts allow MOXA to give a long warranty period. Most MOXA devices have 5 years warranty. According to common hierarchical network model, there are 3 layers: core, distribution, and edge. On the edge layer, we connect end devices to the network. Here we have classical industrial DIN rail switches because equipments are usually installed in the field inside of cabinets. On the distribution layer, data aggregation is happening, so we need more port density. Equipment is usually installed in a rack. Core layer is responsible of forming a backbone, which requires big bandwidth and also a high port density. For transferring power over Ethernet copper wires, we have PoE switches, both for DIN rail and rack mounting. These 4 groups are the main industrial network product lines. They are designed for general purpose automation systems. Power and transportation industries have even higher reliability requirements. That is why MOXA has developed special industry-specific solutions. For transmission distance extension, there are media converters, which can transform your copper line into fiber and vice versa, and also DSL extenders. Let's go through Ethernet switch portfolio starting from the simplest unmanaged models. They can be grouped as fast Ethernet models and gigabit models. MOXA's unmanaged switches are EDS 200, 200A, and 300 series. Naming rule is quite simple. Last 2 digits is port quantity, and the rest digits is to identify the series. If you see a G letter, it means that it is a full gigabit switch. The EDS 200 series is the most cost-effective, since it has a plastic housing and operates in a range from -10 to 60 degrees centigrade. EDS 200A series has metal housing, redundant power input, wide temperature option from -40 to 75 degrees Celsius, and a number of industrial certifications such as ATEX Zone 2, NEMA TS, EN 5121, and DNV. That is a fully industrial grade solution. EDS 300 series additionally have relay output and even more ports. Gigabit solutions are represented by full Giga EDS G205, EDS G308 models. and EDS 210A, which has 1 gigabit uplink. Both 200-300 series models have PoE models. Please pay attention to the PoE standard when you choose a solution. If you need industrial DIN-rail managed switches, then go for EDS 400 and 500 series. They also can be grouped by port speed. Fast Ethernet managed models are EDS 400 series, 505, 508, and 516A. Models with gigabit uplinks are EDS 518A, which has 2 giga uplinks, and EDS 510A or 510E with 3 gigabit uplinks. The A and E letters identify generation. Originally, it was EDS 510 without additional letter, and it was replaced by Advanced 510A model with upgraded hardware and additional features. The next generation is marked with E letter. I will explain more about it in the following slides. Full gigabit models are marked with G letter as usual. These are EDS G509, G508E, 512E, and G516E series. Among PoE models, I would like to highlight EDS P510A-8 PoE. This is the optimal solution for modern CCTV systems. It has 8 PoE plus ports for IP camera connection and 2 gigabit uplinks that allow us to easily integrate the switch into redundant turbo ring or chain topology. As you may have noticed, managed DIN-rail switches are represented by both 400 and 500 series. Here you can see the main software features for all managed Layer 2 switches, and also I have highlighted the difference between 500 and 400 series. 500 series additionally have 802.1x support, secure connection features, port trunking capabilities, and software-based BTP support. As promised, here is a slide about next generation E series. You can see that we have introduced a new type of USB console port and increased EMC level. It is now level 4 according to the IEC standards. Also, E-Series has better vibration proof, lower power consumption, and in my point of view, a better outlook. MOXA also provides modular DIN-rail switches. These are EDS 600, 700, and 800 series. Modular design gives you flexibility in port configuration and expansion. EDS 600 series has metal housing and it is a more compact size. The switch chassis comes in several size options and the biggest one can have up to 19 ports. EDS 700 and 800 series have higher port density, up to 28 ports. The 700 series are Layer 2 switches, while EDS 800 is a Layer 3 switch with routing capabilities. For distribution layer, it is common to install equipment into 19-inch rack. The rack mount switch model line is called IKS and has an additional number 6 in the model name. Last 3 numbers are following the same logic as EDS series. Full gigabit switches are marked with G letter as usual. For example, IKS G6824. This is a full giga layer 3 switch with 24 ports. IKS 6728 and 6726 have a modular design and support gigabit uplinks. The PoE solution is represented by IKS 6728-8 PoE. I want to highlight that with additional PoE modules, it can support up to 24 PoE plus ports, and at the same time it can work in a wide temperature range. Core layer devices differ from distribution layer by providing uplink ports with 10 gigabit speed. This product line is called ICS and has an additional number 7 in the model name. ICS includes modular and fixed type switches. Both have layer 3 and layer 2 models. The naming rule is the same as the previously mentioned series. Well, we took a look at the general purpose industrial switches from MOXA. For power and transportation markets, MOXA has developed industry-specific solutions. This slide shows you the requirements for electromagnetic compatibility. In the right column, you can see general industrial requirements that match our IKS series. The left column shows numbers from IEC 61850-3 standard, which define hardware specs of power substation equipment. It is obvious that power substation applications have much higher EMC level. That is why we have a special PT series for this market. PT is short for power trans. Besides high EMC level, power industry requires very precise time synchronization. To make this happen, we offer both software and hardware precision time protocol support with incredibly high accuracy level. To ensure reliable and timely data communication, smart grid standards define special protocols. Since these protocols carry critical data, they have to travel across the network with the highest priority. For prioritization, we have a QoS feature support, but traditional QoS is defined per port, not per protocol. We have improved this part, so PT series switches can recognize protocol type and increase its priority. One more difference of power applications is management tools. For enterprise IT system, SNMP is the most common management tool. But for smart grid, IC committee defined MMS protocol. MOXA took that into account and added MMS server functionality to the PT series switches. Here is a power trans portfolio. As you see, there are both rack mount and DIN rail form factors. Naming rule is similar to EDS and IKS series. For example, PT7828 is a modular layer 3 switch with up to 28 ports. Hardware PTP solutions have a PTP postfix. Another industry with specific requirements is transportation, especially railway. It also requires higher EMC level compared to general purpose industrial grade. Also, onboard equipment vibration and shock resistance is very critical. These requirements together with climatic conditions are described in EN 5155 and IEC 60571 standards. Onboard power supplies usually cannot deliver a stable voltage. Thus, specially designed MOXA's power modules gives onboard system even more reliability. They can withstand power interruptions, overvoltage or undervoltage, and other fluctuations. Switches for transportation are called tough net. You can easily recognize them by special round-shaped Ethernet connectors. They are called M12 connectors. TN product line is very complete. There are both unmanaged and managed switches, including layer 3 functionality with different port configurations. The model name starts with TN and digit 5.